Hi all, welcome to Acharya Coding School. In this class, we can discuss about the monitoring and performance. So, before going to these topics, why we are requiring the monitoring? Because, if you are working in a project, in real world production system, at that place, we are occurring downtime, slowness. So, it can mainly impact our business, which we are doing. So with the help of monitoring, it reduces the downtime and it easily helps in the detecting the issues and optimizing the performances, and it mainly helps us in the preventing the failures. So it's mainly detect issues before they are affecting our users. So it prevents downtime because due to high CPU, memory leaks, disk full, network configuration. So we are going to monitor. If you are getting high CPU means, then we are troubleshooting and we are working on the monitoring. And it helps in the capacity planning and mainly helping us in the scaling up and scale down. Depends upon the our load. If performance, if for example, if traffic increases means obviously we can increase our load. So based upon that, we can scaling up and scale down the resources. It's mainly supports security. It's unusual spikes, so may indicates the attacks. And monitoring is also a daily task which we are doing in the production support. And for the DevOps engineer also, they are doing this monitoring. So why we are using the monitoring? Because if you are working on a critical server, because if you are working on a production server, so suddenly if your system got run out of the disk space, so it causes a problem, right? So that's why we are using the monitoring. So we have the different types of monitoring. So we have system monitoring, process monitoring, log monitoring, performance monitoring, security monitoring, application and service specific monitoring. So we have like different types of monitorings. So we can discuss each monitoring type in detail. So for example, if you take the system monitoring, so it's mainly help us in the monitoring the CPU, memory and disk. Let us write each and every type. For example, if you take the system monitoring, for this, it's mainly monitor CPU, memory, disk. And we have the examples commands like top. So using the top, we can able to see the how much CPU we have utilized, how much memory we have utilized, and which process we are using. So with the help of top command, we can able to identify the running process as well. And we have the htop and vmstat. In the last previous classes, we have discussed this top, htop, vmstat, and every commands. And we have the iostat. So we have the different types of commands. And we have the process and service monitoring. It mainly help us in in the checking running process and service health. So we have the commands called PS. So PS we are using for the checking the running process. And we have the command called systemctl status. Service netstat. So we have the different commands for checking the process and the service. And we have the log monitoring. So this log monitoring mainly help us in the for analyzing the logs. For issues and patterns. So if you are getting any issues, we can have the help of log monitoring. We can able to resolve the issues. And we have the commands called tail, grep, plus, so these are the examples of the log monitoring. And next we have the performance monitoring. So it mainly helps us in the detects bottlenecks, and if you are getting any slow responses. So it mainly helps us in the performance, means how our application is performing, how our system is performing. So based upon that we are working and how much resources our system is using. So we are going to this help of resource utilization as well. So for this we have the commands for checking this log performance monitoring. We have commands called free, sar, dstat, less, iotop. So we have the different types of commands. And next we have the security monitoring. In this, using the security monitoring, why we are using security monitoring? Because it detects if any suspicious logins. Because if you are working any organization, so only authorized people only will able to log into your system. With the help of security monitoring, it detects suspicious logins and failed items. And we have discussed about the firewall status as well. So it's firewall also using for the monitoring purpose. So it's mainly help us in the security. So we have the commands called who. So why we are using the who? So who is the user present we are using? Who has logged into our system? And we have the SS, last, So like kind of we have the commands and we have the application and service specific monitoring as well. So it mainly helps us in the monitoring specific app health. So for example, we have the web server, database, and we have the commands for checking application and service monitoring, curl, systemctl, so systemctl status, because we are checking the how our application and status will be. So with the help of command what we are doing, so we are going to ping an application. Netstat. So we have different types of application and service monitoring. So the system monitoring we are using mainly for the resources spike. So if you are getting sudden sudden load gets increased, so with the help of system monitoring we can easily able to identify. And we have the log monitoring as well. So it's mainly help us in the any error investigation. And we have the security monitoring. So if any SSH logins, so for example, if you are logging to our Linux machine, so it also identifies if any login unauthorized logins we are getting. So let us now execute each and every command. Types of the monitorings, but we already discussed in the previous classes about the top, htop, PES, so netstat, tail, grep, less, journal settle. So what we have done with all these commands in the previous classes. We can check the running processors in our system. So this is the advanced topics which we are dealing. So we can execute each one and we can check. So we can get the command. Then let us control instance which we have created now. We have connected our in EC2 mission, means our Linux mission which we are doing. So now I am installing the vmstat root user we need to provide, right, for installation. Vmstat nginx -y. So we have installed the nginx server in our machine. So now we can check the process, whether it is running in our system or not. Right? Nginx. So we can see that nginx is running our machine. So with the help of nginx px command, you can filter as well. So based upon the memory percentage, if you want to find out. So we can see the how many users are we in our system and how many process we have, how much memory they are using. So if you see this, we haven't created, just now we have created our Linux machine because we haven't started any process. So that's why it is showing as 0. And for viewing the logs, if you are getting any logs in our system, for identifying the logs, we have like a different types of commands. Log monitoring. So in the previous classes, we have discussed about the how we are dealing, how we are troubleshooting. Everything we have discussed. So this how we are dealing with, and we if you want to know about the IO performance, so we have the commands called IO talk. So some commands maybe depends upon the version, it will not execute. So some installations and everything will be needed. If you want to know about the status of our service which we are doing. So if you want to know about the status of Nginx. So if it is showing as inactive, for those we need to enable, and once we have enabled the Nginx, it will show as active and running. And for checking the logs, for application response, so and process check. So we have discussed how we are dealing with the log monitoring, each and every one in detail concept. Thank you.